We met here about 8, 9 years ago in the hallway here at Ocean Way. He was in one studio, I was in another studio, so it was like just a chance running into each other in the hall.
I was born in 1954. Therefore, you know, the Beatles' music arrived at exactly the moment that I became most conscious about things. And very shortly after that was the first time that I heard Burt songs and was aware that he was the composer of those songs, because his songs on the radio in the 1960s were nearly always announced as a Burt Bacharach song, or a Bacharach, one of the few where they said a Dionne Warwick record written by Burt Bacharach. That's almost unique in pop music at that time.
But I think Anyone Who Had a Heart by Scylla really had a big impression. It was like one of the records I went out and bought with my own money.
Knowing I love you so. Anyone who had a heart would take me in her arms and love me too. You couldn't really have a heart and hurt me like you hurt me and be so untrue. Anyone who had a heart would love me too. Anyone who had a heart would try to take me in her arms and always love me. Why can't you? Anyone who had a heart would love me too. Anyone who had a heart would try to take me in her arms and always love me. Why can't you? Anyone who had a heart would love me too. Anyone who had a heart would surely take me in her arms and always love me. Why can't you?
The way Elvis and I kind of like worked together, we got along. It was like it's like a blind date, you know, in a way, your first date. And we've all had first dates that worked for 24 hours, you know. But in a sense with Elvis, I knew where he was coming from, you know, knowing a little more about Elvis and how he grew up and with his father and the amount of music that was in that household that he was exposed to, that Elvis was. Records from this artist, that from the States. And so I think it wasn't just that he was into my music, he was into all music.
We were first introduced to write the song God Give Me Strength for a motion picture called Grace of My Heart. And we liked writing together, even though it was a very unusual introduction, using the telephone and the fax machine as there was a deadline.
We're in two different places in the world. Elvis was in Ireland, I was in Los Angeles. We had 4 days to write it in. And, you know, it's kind of common knowledge that how we did it, the process, dumping 4 bars, 5 bars of melody on his answering machine. He dumped 4 or 5 bars on mine, and we got it done in 4 or 5 days.
We had to do it really quickly. And the only daunting aspect was really just the day that I came up with, like, the phrase that I wanted to propose we started with. I ring Burt and he's not in, and before I know what I've done, I've sent the music down the fax and left a message with a very scratchy kind of demo, and then I, you know, fret for an hour or two about what he might make of that. And fortunately, you know, when he called back, he sort of understood it, immediately made some good suggestions about this change, that change. We got straight into it. Every time I sing it, like any of these songs, are going to be a real challenge to sing. They're very, you know, they're demanding. They're demanding vocally, they're demanding emotionally. And God Give Me Strength certainly is that.
Now I have nothing, so God give me strength, 'cause I'm weak in a way. And if I'm strong, I might still break. And I don't have anything that I won't throw away into the air. That song is sung out. This spell is rung out. She was the light that I'd blessed. She took my last chance of happiness. So God give me strength. God give me strength. I can hold on to God, give me strength when the phone doesn't ring and I'm lost in imagining everything that kind of love is worth. As I tumble back down to the earth, that song is sung out. This spell is rung out. She was the light that I blessed. She took my last chance of happiness. So God give me strength. God give. She'd grant me her indulgence and decline. I might as well wipe her from my memory. The fraction of spell, she becomes my enemy. And maybe I was washed out like a lip print on a shirt. See, I'm only human. I want him to hide. I want him to since I lost the power to pretend that there could ever be a happy ending. That song is sung out. This spell is rung out. She was the light that I blessed. She took my last chance of happiness. So God give me strength. God give me strength. Wipe her from my memory. I might as well.
So at the end of the recording of God Give Me Strength, it just felt logical that we thought maybe we should try to do this again. try to write some more songs, maybe even do an album. And he thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a good idea. And we embarked on a plan to get together 5, 6 times, whether in Los Angeles or New York, and work on this project.
And does anybody in Ohio? Okay.
Toledo is about somebody coming home from being unfaithful and seeing the light on the telephone going, knowing that their lovers called them. The person that they've cheated on has caught them out and delaying the confession and tries to sort of invent all sorts of alibis for their behavior. And they hear a voice in their head of the woman saying, "How could you do that?" You know, repeated over and over, and the vocal group comes in and says that and kind of in my ear as I'm sort of singing it to myself.
You hear her voice, how could you do that? You hear her voice, how could you do that? So I walked outside in the bright sunshine, and lovers pass by, smiling and joking, but they don't know the fool I was. Why should they care what was lost, what was broken? But if I call, I know that you're bound to guess it. You'll hear my voice, and I won't need to confess it. But do people living in Toledo know that their name hasn't traveled very well? And does anybody in Ohio dream of that Spanish citadel? But it's no use saying that I love you, and how that girl really didn't mean a thing to me. For if anyone should look into your eyes, it's not forgiveness that they're gonna see. But we still have Florence, Alabama. We don't have Paris, and we don't have Rome, or New York, or even Amsterdam. None of those lonely towns will be my home.
I'm very, very proud of the album and my work on it. I feel it's, I think it's some of the best work I've done. And hopefully that Elvis feels the same way.
It's a strange arrangement that because he didn't set his music room up to accommodate 2 people writing together on pianos, the 2 pianos were not facing one another. He was actually staring at the back of my head a lot of the time, and I spent a long time turning at my shoulder. Is that all right? You know, I was playing the piano. He would play this electric keyboard. Sometimes then we'd switch around. It could be. I bet if anybody saw it, it'd be quite comical, you know.
Can you believe this happening?
Such Unlikely Lovers is one of the songs that the lyrical idea came into my head immediately upon hearing the music. The first thing that I heard was the opening music of the verse, and I immediately says it's something to do with people walking down the street or a chance encounter. And that's really pretty much where it's a very simple idea. It's the most optimistic, most romantic song on the record.
On a hot city day, when your white shirt turns to gray, that's when she will come. When you look how you feel, someone steps upon your heel, that's when she'll arrive. The sun now, I'm not saying that there will be violence, but don't be surprised if they appear, playing in some doorway. Still I can't believe that this is happening.
We sunshine like lovers.
Oh, no one seems to notice that they're horrified. Ask me what I'm thinking and I won't deny it.
Can you believe it's happening? Can you believe it's happening?
There were no magic spells. You can keep the flowers in bells. They just don't seem right. Can it actually be me and you and me? The real life day and night. The sun now, I'm not saying that there will be violence, but don't be surprised if they appear, playing in some doorway. Still I can't believe that this is happening.
We sunshine like lovers.
Oh, no one seems to notice as they horrified. Ask me what I'm thinking and I won't deny it.
Can you believe it's happening? Can you believe it's happening?
Somebody
Can you believe it's happening?
I know how obsessive I am with my work and how it drives me crazy. It wakes me up in the middle of the night. I wish it would go away in a way because it just, you sleep in the installment plan that way. But, and that, you know, caring about each note, not as you form it, but after it's written, making sure that it's as good as you can shape it. I mean, I would think that in our writing process when we were in New York or in LA, in one of our writing sessions, probably at 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning when I was awake, Elvis was awake.
come around,
Trying to find another lover.
he will love you like I do.
In the Darkest Place is the first song on the record, and I always imagined it would be the first song on the record. In some ways, it's one of several titles which could be used to imply the mood of the record, although I think that it would be cheating the listener to have gone wholly with this one closed notion. And in fact, the song is quite a different impulse. It describes somebody who's lost somebody, and they prefer to be in the place when no more bad things can happen for the short while until they get back together. Just like when you're in a dark room, you take a little while for your eyes to adjust, and then you start to see There's the hint of the light in the room, and then you can find your way out. It's a simple enough description of how this experience works. I mean, how it works in terms of words and music is quite, you have to hear for yourself, you know.
But I only had to tell myself that by now you could be with someone else. Is the light beneath your door, laughter from within? Do your friends come around, say,
Trying to find another lover.
he won't love you like I do? In the darkest place, I'm lost. I have abandoned every hope. Baby, you'll understand I must shut out the lights. Your eyes are just, they'll never be the same. You know I love you so. Let's start again. Your friends come around, say,
Trying to find another lover.
"We'll love you like I do." That is where you'll find me. In the dark, in the dark. Where you find me.
I think I would most like to impart to people that have the mistaken impression that Burt is kind of you know, that he's not a Mr. Laid Back and detached, which is the cliche that comes next to the easy listening, middle of the road idea, which I've never been able to understand. I just hear deeply felt songs, and I hear the charm in songs that are light-hearted. That doesn't mean they're lightweight, and the deep songs are as deep as you get, and that doesn't come without the sort of, you know, this pleasant torture that you have in the middle of the night, but also
Good.
in terms
Pleasant torture. I love it.
And why didn't we think about that before we printed the album?
So when I'm awake
Pleasant
tonight
torture.
at 3 in the morning, I'll think, this is hard. No, this
But
is
it's pleasant torture.
One thing, Elvis, inside. Top of your second verse. Top of a second. Yes, sir.
I think the surprise, and everybody commented on it, even the one or two musicians that have worked with Burt before in the context of this record, was this unbelievable energy and concentration. The concentration on detail is a nighttime, you know, curse, I suppose, up to a point, but in the studio, it's a drive which moves other people on and gets things out of people that I think they couldn't imagine. We had people playing things that they said were technically impossible, and of me to get me to sing the quietest I've ever sung, but with that means that my voice sounded much louder because I was trying to much less to reach for intensity than just think and feel it. And that was true in the way he directed the musicians, and watching Burt physically direct the orchestra. Sometimes it would be like, you can hear it on the mics, actually, you know, it's a physical gesture which, if you mute this, it's real physical, you know. You would not guess the physicality of it, or that energy thing.
But at that moment, that's the moment of truth, because you've written the song, and there's your moment of truth. Now you're in the studio, and that song is going to live or die with how it gets executed with 4 musicians, 18 musicians, vocal performance. Here's what it's all about. So you could have written a great song and seen it not executed
Yeah,
the way you wanted.
you could miss it. In the end, it's about the story, and ultimately I'm the messenger of that. It's all about the voice serving the singing of the song. And I'm using my voice in a different way than I've ever done before, and a lot of that's been, you know, I'm very glad to be conducted, quite sometimes literally, and in other cases just in a word or two, you know, about where to hold back, giving away everything, giving away all the energy and getting too far up in dynamic range and leaving myself nowhere else to go, so that when I did get there, it was where the music wanted you to be there, and it was so much better.
I only saw stars that dropped my guard, and that's how it ended. What was I to do? The blue corner where I seemed to hang suspended. Then with seconds to go, you delivered the blow. Here I go. You dropped the band, I can't understand it, not after all we've been through. Words start to fly like glass jaw, and I will find one to walk right into. You knocked me out. It was the sweetest punch. The bell goes. Oh, I can hear it ringing, but I didn't see it coming. We all say things we don't mean. You can't take it back. Now the road that's spinning, but that's no. I can see I'll never win. So if you're going, then you better go to him. Then you better go to him.
You know, Elvis is, there's nobody that writes lyrics like Elvis does. I mean, this is just like, they're very, very, he's a great lyricist, great words. I don't think there's one word in this album that's filler. It just kind of, just marks time until the real next line comes along. It's just like, it's brilliance, and it isn't ever common. It isn't ever ordinary, something that you would expect. Tin Pin Alley, you know, Out of the Brill Building.
I thought it was on the da 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 da.
I'll show you where it is.
Still Have That Other Girl is a song which has a musical dialogue running through it. It's the shortest song, I think I'm right in saying it's the shortest song on the record, but probably the most condensed dialogue of musical ideas between Burt and myself. We wrote an equal part of the music, and I mean, some of it we wrote literally note by note, bar by bar, some of the transitions, but one of us would propose the beginning and the next person would come up with the transition, and then the payoff would be written together, and then the bridge would be Burt say, you know, and I nearly ruined it. We were writing it one day, and we got thus far through it to the end of the first chorus, and we were trying to get back to the chorus without going all the way through everything again. And Burt started playing the piano in this really beautiful way, and I was sort of staring out the window at the time. This is in his writing room, and I'm staring out the window thinking about the words, and he starts to play this beautiful thing on the piano. And on the tape, I've got the tape, I've kept all our work tapes because it's good to refer back to them, to how the moment where a certain idea came up, and sometimes things get away if you don't do it. And I'm saying, what's that? That's it, play that again. And I turn around to him, and his eyes are shut, and he's playing, and I realise that he's actually writing it.
I have to say that we should finish it now before we weaken, 'cause we already a surprise. It's not that I don't want you, but I just know I must hesitate, because I still have that other girl in my head. I still have that other girl in my head. There may be ugly rumors that I have been lying. There may be angry tears, but they're never worth the crying. That is why sometimes I hesitate. Because I still have that other girl in my head. I still have that other girl in my head. I still have that other girl in my head.
Tears of the Birthday Party has a slightly sinister underlying theme, that somebody that every year remembers sort of a childish infatuation, and maybe in a young infatuation, on the anniversary, you know, on the person's anniversary, and just thinks of all the times that they didn't send the card or make that attempt, or they never managed to kind of impress upon them how much they meant, and how it says, you know how children can be so cruel. That's how it starts.
Think back now when we were young. There were always tears at the birthday party. You know how children can be so cruel. That's how it starts, but what if we never learn how to behave? I did something and you never forgave me. I never thought that it would be like this, but now I see you share your cake with him, unwrapping presents that I should have sent. What can I do? Must I watch you? Close the door, dim the lights, blow out the candles. So happy birthday again. And it's the same every year. It seems that I remember it as something more, but you know how children can grow so strange. I still adore you. What if we never learn from our mistakes? What then? Do you never know how my heart aches? I never thought that it would be like this, but now I see you share your cake with him, unwrapping presents that I should have sent. What can I do? Must I watch you? Close the door, dim the lights, blow out the candles. So happy birthday again.
Close the door, dim the lights, blow out the candles. So happy birthday again.
One day I know smile or a shrill of laughter. What if we only get what we deserve? Somehow I couldn't quite summon the nerve upon each anniversary. Then do you ever think of me? Wrapping presents that I should have sent. What can I do? Must I watch you? Close the door, dim the lights, blow out the candles. So happy birthday again.
Close the door, dim the lights, blow out the candles.
So happy birthday again. Close the door, dim the lights, blow out the candles. So happy birthday again.
Burt's very modest about his contribution to the lyrics, in that he doesn't write lyrics, but he has a very vocal sense. I think a lot of instrumental lines have an underlying lyrical idea. It may be like a dummy idea that will exactly be the key to the phrasing of a line. And when he proposed certain music to me, he would say a word or two. In the case of This House Is Empty Now, when he first played me the opening phrase, it had the word remember in it, in a very crucial place in the phrase. And I couldn't get it out of my head. In fact, the original manuscript of just the sketch of the opening ideas of the song had the word, we identified it by the word remember.
Maybe we should have a word with Burt about that, and whether he wants to, maybe we want to change that, I don't know.
I just knew it was about somebody walking through deserted rooms, maybe after a divorce, on the eve of a divorce, and reminiscing, but not in a sentimental way, in a sort of slightly angry way. In the final verse it says, meanwhile all our friends must choose who they will favor, who they will lose, because that usually is what happens when people break up. Their friends have to decide which of the couple whose side they're gonna take, or whether there's gonna be a party sometime, so hang the garland high or close the door and throw away the key. Because sometimes, your friends can kind of say you were better off without them, and that may or may not be true. And in this case of this song, it isn't true,
These rooms play tricks upon you. Remember when they were always filled with laughter. But now they're quite deserted. They seem to just echo voices raised in anger. Maybe you will see my face reflected there on the pane in the window of a and broken home. Still this house is empty now. There's nothing I can do to make you want to stay. So tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? These walls were lined with pictures. Remember the glass we charged in celebration. But now I fill my life up with all that I can to deaden this sensation. Do you recognize the face fixed in that fine silver frame, where you really saw unhappy then, you never said. Still this house is empty now. There's nothing I can do to make you want to stay. So tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? Oh, if I could just become forgetful when night seems endless. Does the extinguished candle care about the darkness? It's funny how my memory will bring you so close, then make you disappear. Meanwhile, all our friends must choose who they will favor, who they will lose. Hang the garland high, or close the door and throw away the key. This house is empty now. There's no one living here. You have to get about. This house is empty now. There's nothing I can do to make you want to stay. So tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? This house is empty now. There's nothing I can do to make you want to stay. This house is empty now. This house is empty now.
Painted from Memory is the title of the album. It's one of the songs. Kind of a special song. I think they're all different. I think all these songs are different. They all have certainly a theme of love, love maybe that didn't work, relationships that you hoped would work and didn't work. Never desperate, never too dark, still some hope.
The people in the songs are having the time. They're having the time of their lives in the worst way that you say that. You know, they're having the big time in their life. I'm having that too. In two ways I'm having that. I've had those times, so I know what I'm talking about. And I think, you know, Burt's had a share of life, you know, in these matters. And you can hear that resonating in musical judgments that he makes in songs he's written already, and a lot of the music that he's written on this record. We understand what we're trying to put to people. Maybe not be so selfish as to just make it like a diary. And, you know, in the long run, people will make up their own minds what use they find of it, you know.
Such a picture of loveliness. Didn't you notice the resemblance? Doesn't it look like she could speak? but she is not easily painted from memory. You'd think that I would know by now, Lord, I tried to capture their lost to me now. Forever they smile for someone else. And souls had to be painted from memory. She is gone, and I must accept it. She is lost to me now. But I can't look away just yet. Oh, she smiles for someone else. Funny now, I can see how looks can be deceiving. Funny now, I can see how looks can be deceiving.
So this had to be painted from memory.
The record has been named for one song. It doesn't place special prominence or importance on that one song, Painted from Memory. It has it'll strike people different ways, and I don't want to plant thoughts in people's heads how it was. We thought of lots of different titles over the while, and we discussed them all, you know, and I mean, the subtitle of the record comes from the song What's Her Name Today, which is the one that I would use if when people say, like, it's called Painted from Memory, but what does that mean? Why are you working together? And I say, well, because it's a lonely world.
Good. All right.
Burt Bacharach and Elvis Costello together for the first time. Because it's a lonely world.
And the two of them are performing again next on 4, along with a host of artists from Dionne Warwick to All Saints. A tribute concert to Bacharach that was one amazing night.
Wipe it from my memory.